Hello, thank you for tuning in. The tarot cards I'm going to use for this one are The Art of Love Tarot by, I was just looking at the name, Denise Jarvie, artwork by Tony Carmine Salerno. I'll get that a little closer so you can read it if you want to. Here's what the front of the box looks like. And there's a website, blueangelonline.com. Feel free to check that out if you're interested in these cards, of course. Supportive Oracle cards, Spellcasting Oracle cards by Barbara, Flavia, and Lisbeth. Flavia, Barbara, and Lisbeth. I just realized I said that out of order. They're their full names if you're interested. On the back here are some websites. Shewhoisart.com is what pops up to me most times. Feel free to freeze frame and check out any of that information, of course, if you're interested. And the dice I use are from Amazon. I use the 20, and somebody made the point that I'm also missing the Fool card. That is correct. I didn't realize that, but you're right. I'm missing the Fool card, and I'm missing the World card, 21. But I roll with it. And for the Minor Arcana, I use a combination of the 12, 1 through 12, which omits Queen and King, but I roll with it. And I use the four-sided dice to select the element, in case you're wondering what I'm doing there. All right. Hopefully that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thank you very much. And now on to your reading. Hello, Aries. Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them. But that being said, what do we have for Aries? Okay. So you have really good cards coming in. You got the Magician in the past. It seems like, I think this happened for Scorpio. I could be wrong. The question is, what is your connection to this? The Chariot reversed, and then the Four of Pentacles. Holding on to what is yours, not trusting other people to do what they need to do to make sure things stay where they're supposed to be. Even though Aries doesn't really mind change from what I know of Aries, just the base energy, there are certain things that are supposed to work out correctly. Certain things that are supposed to, like, this is where that belongs, that should stay there. It's kind of like food belongs in the kitchen, for example. You know, cold things stay in the freezer and fridge, that type of thing. Like, that's where that stuff belongs, so that's where we keep it. It doesn't mean it has to be organized the same way every time, but things that need to be frozen stay in the freezer. That type of thing. I feel like I was dealing with a random energy that I didn't like. I was like, why? It's like I feel like people were not putting things away properly. It's like people leaving meat out too long or stuff like that. It's kind of like, get that in the fridge where it belongs, or put it in the freezer if that's where it needs to go. I feel like I had to keep an eye on people. And this Magician is kind of like, I might have inserted myself into something because I held stake in the same thing. Like, it's kind of like, if I'm going to eat that food, I'm going to insert myself into the situation to make sure it's properly taken care of so that I don't get sick on it, let alone anybody else, because it wasn't put away properly or in the timely manner to make sure it didn't, you know, end up getting too warm and then causing an issue. So I feel like you might have inserted yourself, but for a good reason. And that might have been like a random thing that you just like, I just need to make sure this works out. It's not something I feel like I want to be a part of. It's just something like, well, I'm going to be eating that food too, so I'm going to make sure it's, you know, properly stored and in a timely manner, because I don't want to get sick just because somebody didn't do what they were supposed to. Then I don't trust them to do what they're supposed to. So I'm going to insert myself here for good reason. Which kind of begs the question, are you inserting yourself or just making sure things are done right to make sure you and nobody else gets sick, for example? What is this? I keep thinking Aries only puts up with so much. And this is an Aries reading, obviously. Aries only puts up with so much, but somebody's pushing their luck is what I'm getting. Because I feel like you're picking up somebody else's slack for good reason. Kind of like it's not worth getting sick over, and I'm not going to do that. But at the same time, somebody else is skirting around their responsibilities, and it's kind of like for some reason you're taking this on, but it's starting to build. It's kind of a moment, kind of like, all right, it's creating a change is what it's doing. I don't know if you're going to get angry over this, because I'm like, Aries tolerating this is very interesting to me. Aries usually calls that stuff out, so the fact that you're not, at least at this point, I don't see you doing that. It might be gearing up for a change, kind of like, you know what, if I'm going to do this, maybe I'll just take the whole thing over anyway. And if that's what I want, I'm just going to wait it out, kind of like, I'll give it maybe a month, even possibly 2, and I'm going to document or make sure it's known that I'm the one doing this. And then after a month, maybe 2, I'll be like, you know what, since I'm doing it anyway, it's mine. You're going to go do something else that I don't have to worry about you as much, and I'm going to do this because you clearly can't be counted on to do it right. So it might be strategic. Aries can be definitely strategic, kind of like, all right, if that's how we're going to play it, I'm going to make sure, like, I'm going to prove that, like, obviously this person's not doing what they're supposed to. I've had to do it for a month, maybe 2. Since I'm doing it anyway, it's mine. It's mine. Because I feel like you're taking over something. And this is what you want. Well, maybe not originally what you wanted, but over time it's like, you know what, I'll just do it. I'll just make this my thing. And I'll kind of rotate around the responsibilities here. This becomes mine. That can be somebody else's. I don't want that anyway, so that can go there. I feel like you're going to be very happy with this outcome. A contract is kind of like a new responsibility. I'm taking on the responsibility. I'm accepting this new situation. I'm making it mine. I'm not feeling bad about it, but there's something coming up here. I'm just going to verify it because I'm like, Wheel of Fortune coming up. I'm annoyed with it already. 6 of Cups, do not do this. 6 of Cups reversed. It's reversed, and do not let somebody else's history change the course of where you want things to go. This justice coming in is a very interesting thing. Because Aries is about the truth and about you have your own version of justice. Kind of like you screwed that up, therefore it's not yours anymore. This energy is more political, is what I'm getting here. This isn't a situation where you should have patience for it, or you should look at somebody's history. It's kind of like, oh, well, that person, I know they made some mistakes, and, they've been very tired, and they've been a little absent-minded. They've had a lot going on, so I think we should forgive them and let them try to do that job again. I feel like this is the part where the way this should go is, like, let them do some other job that they can screw up if they're too tired, and then it's not going to cause people to get sick. How about that? I know that sounds brutal, but it's kind of like, we don't want to be too giving in this situation. It's kind of like, all right, yeah, maybe they have reasons why they weren't putting things away in a timely manner. They were being a little forgetful. Maybe that's understandable. But in this situation, like food being put away, those type of mistakes are going to cause people to get sick. And who knows how ill they might get off of food that's left out too long and then refrozen or put in the fridge. Like, this is not okay. it may be understandable that they had this moment, or they're having these moments, or they're overtaxed or whatever, but put them in a different situation to where if they get a little absent-minded, nobody's going to get physically sick over it. I feel like that's where we want to go. This is an analogy, of course, but what they're saying is do not have patience for this. Ironic. This is what they're saying. This went in the pile of like what not to do. Do not consider their history. Do not consider what's going on. Do not be overly patient with it. This is not a good idea. What they're saying to do is like push forward, point out that this needs to go right. I don't mean to put that person at detriment, but this is not the job for them. This is not the job for them. This needs some more focus. This needs some more attention to it. You can't have those type of mistakes here. So until they get their life together and they've proven they've gotten their life together, they need to do something else. They're saying hold to your guns. This is mine now. It went a month, maybe 2, and they didn't do what they were supposed to. I did. It's mine now. I feel like somebody else is saying, yeah, but we're going to forgive them. You're like, no, we're not. We're going to let them do something else. You don't have to hold it against them. You don't have to hold it against them if you don't want to. But I've taken this on. This is mine now. They can do something else. I know that may seem, I don't know. I feel like Aries will be fine with it. I feel like you're going to be fine with it. Let them find that person some other responsibility. Because I get like the blossoming abundance and the star card is like they can find their place somewhere else. Whatever this is, I feel like this is not for them. And I might question whether there's a good reason or not. It may just be looks like there's a good reason why they did what they did, or they didn't do what they were supposed to do. But they can go do something else. I feel like we need to kind of usher them on. Stand up and say no. Aries, I feel like Aries, the only reason Aries would kind of hold back on this one is because when you do have a voice, it's quite clear and concise and you don't really mince words, so it can bend people out of shape. Well, then maybe this is one of those moments where it's time for people to be bent out of shape. I have seen Aries do that. They'll hold back not because they want to, but because like when they do say what they mean and they get right to the point, it does kind of ruffle feathers. And they're like, is it worth ruffling these feathers over? In this situation, I'm going to say yes. It's a general read. Take it with a grain of salt, of course. Hold on to what you have. Hold on to because I feel like you want it. Hold on to that. The situation will balance out correctly in the long run. This is more of a long game. You'll be very thankful you did. You have the Ace of Cups in the cornucopia. This is going to be best for you. Whoever couldn't, or whatever their issue was, that's them. That's a them problem. That's a them problem. Let's just leave it a them problem. Contrary to belief, I think the Aries can be very giving when they feel like if they feel like they need to for whatever reason. You guys can be very, all right, I'll let this one go. They're just saying this is not one of those times. I feel like Aries can be if you feel like you need to, but they're saying this is not one of those times where you need to do that. Is there anything else I need to say for that? I think we're there. Alright, I'm going to shut this down here. Hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.